Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying the greatest gift life gives us is the ability to shape our own future, not with magic, not with luck, but with decision, discipline, and design. You see, the future isn't something we wait for, it's something we work for. Now, when I was young, I was like many people. I hoped for a better future. I wished things would change, but then a mentor told me something that changed my life. Jim, you don't get a better future by hoping. You get a better future by designing. Think of your life like a house. You don't wake up one day and find a mansion built for you. You sketch it, plan it, build it, one brick at a time. The question is, are you the architect of your life, or just a tenant hoping the rent stays low? Too many people leave their future up to chance, to circumstances, to other people's decisions. But here's the truth. If you don't design your own future, you'll end up living in someone else's blueprint. And let me warn you, the blueprint someone else designs for you, it's usually about their goals, not yours. Now here's the good news. You can start today. You don't need a title. You don't need permission. All you need is a decision. Design starts when you say, enough is enough. I'm ready to take control. Start small. Start with what time you wake up, what you read, who you listen to, what you feed your mind. Your future doesn't change when the year changes. It changes when you change. Set a goal, not a wish, not a dream, a clear written goal. Decide what kind of health you want, what kind of income you want, what kind of relationships you want. Don't say, I want to be successful. Say, by this date, I will earn this amount, save this amount, and build this habit. Design is about clarity, and with clarity comes power. And I'll tell you, this discipline is the glue that holds your design together. Anyone can dream, but only the disciplined can build. The man or woman who disciplines their mind, their time, and their energy becomes unstoppable. And don't forget, direction is more important than speed. Some people are going 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. Better to move slowly toward a well-designed life than to rush into chaos. So let me leave you with this. Take out a blank sheet of paper tonight. At the top, write, my future, then design it. Write down what you want, why you want it, and what kind of person you must become to achieve it. Because when the design is strong, the future is secure. Don't leave your life to chance. Don't gamble with your potential. Design your own future, and then go out and build it. The phrase, the future is built, not found, holds a profound truth about personal responsibility, intentional living, and long-term success. It teaches that the life we desire won't magically appear, and we won't stumble upon greatness or fulfillment by accident. Instead, we must construct it piece by piece through our daily decisions, efforts, habits, and attitudes. Every day is a building block. How we spend our time, what we choose to focus on, who we associate with, and how we respond to challenges, all these things form the structure of our future. Nothing about tomorrow is guaranteed except that it will be shaped by the actions we take today. Many people spend years waiting for life to happen to them. They wait for the right time, the perfect opportunity, or for someone to discover their potential. But life doesn't work that way. The future doesn't come fully furnished. It comes with raw materials. What you do with those materials determines everything. Jim Rohn often said, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. That idea fits perfectly here. The future is not something to be found out there. It's not hiding behind a lucky break or a miracle. It is created by laying a foundation with discipline, vision, and perseverance. Like a builder drafts blueprints before a structure is erected, we must create a vision of the future we desire. That vision becomes our compass. Without it, we drift. Designing the future means taking full ownership of the direction your life is heading. It means getting serious about your goals, your purpose, and your personal growth. You don't build a successful future by reacting to life. You build it by responding to life with wisdom, preparation, and purpose. That includes managing your emotions, controlling your thoughts, and mastering your habits. The idea that the future is built brings power to the individual. It destroys the excuse that your past, your background, or your circumstances determine your destiny. They may influence the starting point, but they do not dictate the finish line. What you choose to believe, to pursue, and to work for, those choices define the life you will live 5, 10, or 20 years from now. People often look for a break through moment, a single event that will change everything. But in truth, the future is made in the quiet, hidden moments, waking up early to study, saying no to distractions, investing time in learning instead of entertainment, choosing the difficult conversation over silence, or taking that first scary step toward a goal. Each of these moments is like a brick being laid in the construction of your future. Neglecting these choices is like leaving the job site every day, hoping the building will still magically complete itself. The truth is, whether you intentionally build your future or not, something will still be built. The problem is, if you don't build it deliberately, you may end up with a life you didn't want. Life doesn't pause just because you're unsure. Time keeps moving, and it builds whatever you allow. Inaction is still a form of action. Neglect is still a choice. Letting the years pass without direction or effort is still laying bricks, just not the kind that support the future you hoped for. Building your future means focusing on values, principles, and character. You may not control every event, but you control your response, and your response is part of your construction. You might experience failure, disappointment, rejection, or loss, but even these things can be used as building materials if you don't waste them. Some of the strongest parts of your future can be made from the pain of your past if you're willing to learn and grow. Vision is essential in building a future. You must be able to see something that hasn't yet happened. That means you can't live only by what is. You must live also by what could be. Faith in the unseen, belief in potential, and the courage to take steps before certainty arrives. These are the tools of a future builder. Another truth about building your future is that it's not a one-day project. It's a lifelong process. Just like a building requires regular maintenance and upgrades, so does your life. You must keep refining your mindset, adjusting your strategy, and expanding your capacity. You are never done building, and that's a good thing. Growth is the purpose of life. Movement forward is the reward. It's also important to understand that building doesn't mean perfection. Mistakes will be made. Plans will sometimes fail. But builders don't give up when the weather turns or the tools break. They adapt, they revise, they keep working, and so must you. Resilience is part of the building process. So is patience. A great future takes time. You don't plant a seed today and eat the fruit tomorrow. You water, wait, protect, and nurture, and eventually the harvest comes. Lastly, your future is not just for you. What you build with your life can inspire, uplift, and empower others. When you take responsibility for your future, you become a leader by example. Your strength gives others courage. Your discipline creates a ripple effect. That's the beauty of building intentionally. It multiplies beyond you. So remember this: the future is not hiding, waiting to be discovered by chance. It's waiting to be built by your hands, your heart, and your habits. Every decision you make is a brick. Every day is a tool, and every goal is a beam holding it all together. Don't just hope for a better future. Build it. The phrase "direction is more important than speed" carries a deep truth that applies to every area of life: personal growth, career, relationships, and even spiritual development. In a world obsessed with going faster, achieving more, and chasing milestones, it's easy to confuse motion with meaning. But moving quickly in the wrong direction only takes you further from where you actually want to be. That's why direction, knowing where you're going and why, is far more important than how fast you're moving. Many people live their lives in a rush. They're constantly busy, always running, and rarely still long enough to question whether they're running towards something meaningful. They work hard, but not necessarily smart. They chase goals because they are trendy or urgent, not because they're aligned with their values or long-term vision. They confuse momentum with progress, but momentum in the wrong direction is still a mistake in motion. When your direction is unclear, speed becomes dangerous. It gives the illusion of progress while silently drifting you away from your purpose. It's like getting in a car, flooring the gas pedal, but never checking the GPS. You feel like you're achieving something because there's movement, but without clarity, you could be getting lost faster. In fact, the faster you go without checking your direction, the greater the cost when you realize you've gone the wrong way. True success is not about how fast you finish, it's about finishing well on purpose and in alignment with your calling. Direction gives you purpose, it gives you meaning behind the effort, it lets you say no to distractions, temptations, and shortcuts that pull you off track. It creates focus and intentionality. When you know where you're going, every step becomes more powerful, even the slow ones. Speed is seductive. It makes you feel like you're doing something important. But it can also be deceptive. Some people are speeding through life, climbing the ladder of success, only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. They get the promotion, the money, the recognition, but they feel empty. Why? Because they moved fast without checking if their direction matched their purpose. Direction requires thought. It demands self-reflection. It invites you to slow down and ask deeper questions. What kind of life do I really want? Who do I want to become? What kind of impact do I want to leave behind? Those aren't questions you answer in a rush. They require stillness. They require honesty. But once you answer them, your path becomes clearer. And when your path is clear, even slow progress becomes meaningful progress. Life isn't a race, it's a journey, and every journey is defined by its destination. It doesn't matter if you walk, jog, or run. If you're heading the right way, you're doing just fine. But going 100 miles an hour toward the wrong destination will only take you away from your purpose faster. That's why people who are clear on their direction, even if they move slower, often end up living more fulfilled and meaningful lives. Some of the greatest accomplishments in history weren't made quickly. They were the result of steady, purposeful movement in the right direction. Progress takes time, wisdom takes time, maturity takes time. Direction gives you the patience to embrace the process instead of constantly rushing for results. It teaches you to measure success by alignment, not by speed. It's easy to compare your journey to others. You see someone else moving faster, achieving more, gaining attention, collecting trophies. But if their direction doesn't match yours, their speed is irrelevant. Life isn't about winning a race someone else created. It's about walking your own path at your own pace toward your own goals. And that path begins with direction. Speed often creates pressure. It fills your mind with anxiety about getting there faster, doing more, achieving higher. But direction brings peace. It reminds you that you're on the right road and that it's okay to take your time. It's okay to go slow if you're going in the right direction. What matters is that you're moving forward with intention. When you focus only on speed, you're tempted to cut corners. You might sacrifice integrity for results. You might compromise your values for visibility. But direction keeps you grounded. It reminds you of what really matters. It protects you from trading short-term wins for long-term losses. Direction is also what helps you recover from mistakes. Everyone takes wrong turns in life. Everyone stumbles, gets lost, or goes off course at some point. But if you have a clear direction, You can recalibrate. You can stop, reflect, and get back on track. Direction is your inner compass. It's what brings you back to purpose when speed leads you astray. There's a story of the tortoise and the hare that we've all heard. The hare was fast, the tortoise was slow, but the tortoise won because he stayed on course. The hare had speed, but he lacked focus. The tortoise had direction, and that made all the difference. That old fable still holds wisdom today. In real life, the one who wins is not always the one who's fastest, but the one who stays true to the path. Direction also makes your sacrifices worthwhile. When you know where you're going, you're more willing to endure hardship, delay gratification, and stay committed because you know it's not for nothing. Every effort is part of the bigger picture. That's something speed can never give you on its own. Speed might bring excitement, but direction brings purpose. Purpose outlasts pace, meaning outlasts momentum. And direction outlasts all the flashy, noisy distractions that promise quick success. If you have to choose, always choose direction over speed, because speed without direction is chaos, but direction, even without speed, is progress. So in the end, it's not about how fast you get there, it's about where you're going and why. When you understand that, you can move with clarity, confidence, and calm. You won't need to race anyone else. You won't need to prove yourself through constant motion. You'll simply keep moving, step by step, day by day, toward a future you designed with wisdom and purpose.